Going on YouTube? Figured I'd change gears a little bit. Talk about the ZR-1. I haven't talked about it in a while. Been driving it. You know, I've probably put 8 or 10,000 miles on this car already. I drive it a lot. Uh, I just think these cars are built to be driven and not live their lives in a garage somewhere getting polished every day. I mean, that's cool too. It is what it is, but I'm more of a, enjoy it. So about the car, man, it runs great. I haven't had any issues with it. The only issue I had was that safety thing on the clutch down there would prevent it from starting once in a while. So I pulled that thing off and made me a little straight wire. I got a video about that. But I drove it today, drove it to Wilmington and back, made a grocery run. It just runs great. I mean, at 70 miles an hour in sixth gear, you're turning about 1,400 RPMs. The guys that set that world top speed endurance record, one of the drivers said they were running in the mid 190s for hours at a time. And that car was limited to 70% of wide open throttle, and it carried 300 pounds of spare parts and had a roll cage in it. So, these cars are not quarter mile cars. These cars are, set to cruise on 180 and drive from here to California. That kind of thing is what this car is built for. Anyway, it's old. I don't drive it hard. This morning I got to a stoplight and I didn't take off real hard, and I went into second gear, speed shifted into second gear the best you can with these hydraulic clutches, and it broke traction. It fishtailed. These tires, they're probably not real sticky tires, so it's got some power, man, and it'll get on down with it. And driving it is so cool, man, because every time you drive it, you discover something new about it. You discover what RPM it likes to be shifted at, and where the power is, and it's just a fun car to drive. It is. I mean, it goes, but it's good to cruise too, though. You know what I mean? You can just putt around if you want to, and it really is kind of docile. If you're not getting on it, it's an easy car to drive. That LT5, I'm telling you, is an amazing engine. They did a lot of research and development on that engine, and it went through 200 hours of torture testing. Lotus said that was, completely out of line, but they did it anyway, and it's a tough engine. It may not be the most powerful engine on the planet, but I put a Mark Halbeck chip in it. And the RPMs, I think from the factory, it was 7,200, if I'm correct, the red line. And I think Mark's chip makes it 7,600. Plus, it turns the fans on a little earlier, help keep the engine cool, and several other little things. But really enjoy it, man. I thought about selling it, but there's no way I could replace this car for what I got in it. And people probably wouldn't want to give me nothing for it. It ain't a cream puff. And, I don't know if I could stand somebody picking it apart. This car's had a rough life, and I brought it back from the brink. And she loves her home. She likes to be driven. She likes to be showed off. And I got a new top for it. New top. Somebody had changed this thing around. There were 3 generations of these tops and the way they fasten up here, and somebody switched this thing around to the first generation. So I found one and I got it for a real good deal. It's just a solid top. I still need to cover the seats. That's $1,000. I keep looking on the registry to see if anybody is going to sell some that might be faded but are not dry and cracked and all that, because I just ain't got $1,000 to throw out for seat covers. That's just the way it is. I'm more interested in making sure that this car is sound mechanically, and we'll worry about the cosmetic stuff when the time comes, which I am going to paint it. I'm painting the Firebird first, and it's going to be a learning process for me. I've painted cars before, but you know, I want it to be nice. I want it to be, you know, straight when I do it. When I bought the car, had a big hole up here on the hood. I got the hood up, had a big hole right along in here. You can't see it no more. Maybe it was right here. Right here, you can see where the fiberglass is right there. But it had a big hole there. It's got a few little spots down here I got to work on. And then in the back, probably already covered all this. There's a little spot right there. But back here on this quarter panel right here, it looked like something had fell on it, like this way. And it had a hole here, and I repaired that, man. And I'm telling you, for an old bricklayer, it feels great. And you know, when you do these cars, when you look at them, you don't think there's a lot of contour. But when you do body work on these things, man, I'm telling you, you know, you're coming down like this, you're coming out and around, and you got to make all that work out. You know, it's pretty intense, man. It's a learning process for sure. And back here, I've even tried to put a little bit of filler in there, but when I sand it, it just flies right off. So, or it goes right back to what it looks like. I don't know how to do this. I need to talk to my neighbor. See, the paint's just chipping right off here. Got to get paint on it soon. That's more important than worrying about the seats. But it ain't that bad, considering, you know, I got a little amp right there and a little subwoofer, and got a Pioneer system in it. You know, it ain't perfect by any means, but for what I got in it, I think it's pretty cool. You know, the dash. This car was parked in South Carolina for a long time, and it gets hot down here, and some of the plastic's a little warped from all the heat. And I had my instrument cluster rebuilt, and some of the components in it had to be replaced, and the guy that did it, did a fabulous job. He did a fabulous job. And so anyway, I just wanted to update on the Corvette a little bit. It's almost like a daily driver for me. I drive it a lot. You know, I'm enjoying it. And after I get the bird painted, we'll see about doing this one. So anyway, y'all have a good day. I'll be posting a Firebird video later today probably. All right.